So we are 5 weeks and 2 days out from my show. I'm hungry. I know I'm not as hungry as I'm probably going to get, but I am very hungry. And the last time my coach and I talked about my most recent check-in, on his check-in, he asks, and this is the same thing I do for my clients, what's your hunger level on a scale from 1 to 5? And I looked at that for a minute and I was like, is it a 4 or is it a 5? Like, I know 5 is like, I want to gnaw my arm off. And a 4, I don't know. I put a 5. So we talked about it and he's like, when your hunger is a 5 out of 10, he's like, that's just kind of, that's prep. This is where it starts getting like really hard. And the hardest part, he's like, prep is actually very easy. The hardest part is just mentally because you're hungry. And that's, I mean, it's not natural to be this lean, right? I mean, I'm extremely lean. Like, I went to bed last night with like visible veins on my lower abs. So it's not natural to be that lean, okay? Especially as a woman. So in order to get that lean for competition, you have to do unnatural things like eat extremely low calorie. And it's just part of the deal. And I'm putting up with it. I mean, obviously, I know that it's not great to be super hungry, but I like the fact that obviously the plan is working. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, following it pretty much to a T, but I'm getting ready right now to go to train my client. Usually what I'll do is go train myself before I train my client, but I'm breaking out. I didn't do that this morning. I was just so tired. I could not fall asleep last night. I just couldn't fall asleep, which is crazy because I was so tired. So I just like laid there in shallow sleep for so long, and every little movement woke me up. So don't judge me for this, but I ended up taking a swig of NyQuil just like to pass out. And then that made me very groggy in the morning, so that was a mistake. I think I'm gonna start taking a nighttime supplement with ingredients like GABA, a little bit of melatonin. I might have ordered a sleep supplement from Symbiotica. I can't remember if I did or not. But even if I didn't, I do have a sleep supplement here. It's a First Form product. It's called Night Tea. It's also just really old. I've had this bottle forever, so I don't know if that like has reduced the efficacy of it. But I'll try that tonight and see if that helps. I don't know if my sleep is suffering just because I take too many stimulants during the day, which could be a big part of it, or if it's just part of like dieting so hard. So I'll ask my coach about that because usually I don't really have a hard time sleeping. So I think it's how many stimulants I'm taking during the day because I do several cups of coffee, which really isn't that much, maybe like 200 milligrams of caffeine. Sometimes I'll have an energy drink, but that's pretty rare, maybe once a week. But I do Zyn. Don't judge me for that. Don't judge me for it. My husband was a bad influence on me when we were golfing, and now I joke that golf is a gateway drug to Zyn. But it does really help you focus. It's got like nootropic properties, which is like cognitive benefits similar to caffeine. Nicotine is molecularly similar to caffeine. At least that's what I was told once, so don't quote me on that. I just chose to believe it when somebody who's much smarter than me said that. I can't remember if he said molecularly similar to caffeine or chemically similar. Either way, it helps me like zone in on work, especially if I have like consultation calls or, you know, talking to a new client or whatever. But I'm sure that that is not helping my sleep. So probably gonna try to wean off of that, because it's very similar to caffeine. You wake up with a bit of a headache when you're addicted to caffeine, and you wake up with a bit of a headache when you're addicted to nicotine. Then you put a little pouch in your mouth and it feels better. And I'm like, dang, I understand why people smoke cigarettes. It does give you like a little bit of a head buzz, which every time someone told me that about nicotine, because I like used to work with some guys who did like actual dip where you spit in a bottle. It's disgusting. I think it's disgusting, but it's tobacco. And I asked my friend one time, I was like, why do you do that? What is that doing for you? And he's like, gives you a head buzz, helps you focus. And I was like, a head buzz? Like alcohol? And he said, no, it's just a little head buzz. And I'm like, so I didn't really get it until the first time that I actually did it, which by the way, the very first time I ever tried nicotine pouches, it made me sick. So I stupidly tried again and I got past the nausea. And I was like, this does give you a head buzz, let's go. So no wonder people do it. But I think I'm gonna try and wean myself off of it because I just don't think it's good to be addicted to nicotine. caffeine is where I'll draw the line. And I don't really have an addicted personality, so it's pretty easy for me to like stop drinking caffeine cold turkey, or, you know, the nicotine thing I can stop cold turkey, but I'll probably do that once I'm out of the pouches that I currently have. I'm just washing my makeup sponge right now because I am gonna put a little bit of makeup on. I do wear makeup every day. Sometimes people think that's weird. I really don't care. I look better with makeup on than I do without, so that's why I wear it. And I even put a little bit on before I go to the gym. If I was going to the gym right now, I'd still be doing this. I don't really care if you think that's weird. Makes me feel put together, makes me feel confident. I like makeup, so. By the way, I didn't have any intention of using this vlog series to talk at all about makeup, but if that happens to be something that you guys are interested in, I'll work it into one of my videos, or maybe post a different video about it. That's all I had to say about that. Real quick, I forgot to put a call to action at the beginning of this video. My video guy, Lee, was irritated with me, but sorry, Lee. If you guys like this type of content, I would love it if you would subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, just that way you always know when I'm putting out new videos. So just keep watching and follow along. I don't know why I'm breaking out. It's honestly kind of annoying. My husband was like, dang, you're stressing lately. And I don't really feel that stressed, but maybe it is just the stress of being in prep. I mean, business has definitely picked up for sure, which is really good, but I've been very, very, very busy, which I like being busy. I like working. I love what I do. I love my clients, but I have been a little overwhelmed lately with my schedule and like how many calls I have and, you know, training up people that I've hired to work in my business. I'm trying to work myself into a position where all I have to do is coach, because that's what I love doing. I'm a coach because I love coaching. What I don't love is building the business. What are you doing? What are you doing, baby? What do you have? She grabbed a tampon out of the box the other day and tore it apart. So I was afraid she had another one. Thank God it was out of the box, not out of the trash can. I know that's gross, but dogs are gross. Look at her. Oh, she started to make a bed. And then anytime I try to record her when she's making a bed, she'll stop. It's like she's embarrassed. She's a sweet baby. What time is it? 7:53? All right, I gotta go faster. One thing about this vlog series is that recording for this is so different than like posting on Instagram stories, because that's just, you know, it's easy for me to do that. Instagram stories is my favorite part of Instagram. I think it's easy. But this, I just have to like get used to like recording all the time. Like you see vloggers on social media and like how they have their camera out at restaurants, and they have their camera out like when they're walking around and like all kinds of stuff. And I never really had any interest in doing that. Doing my best to keep things as real as possible, because that's one of my biggest focuses of my social media is authenticity. It's one of the biggest compliments that I get is that I'm real, and I just don't know how to not be real. So when people say that, I'm like, oh, nice. I'm glad that how it comes across, because that's my intention. All right, we're getting there. I have 8 calls to do, which is 4 or 5 hours of calls. I think sometimes people get confused about what people like me do for a living. Like, you know I'm a coach, but sometimes people don't really know what my day looks like. And they're like, do you just post content all the time? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do that, but that's my least favorite part of this whole deal. I don't love recording content, except my Instagram story. Like I said, I do like posting. Where the hell is my, bro? I literally intentionally like put these organizational things in my makeup drawer to keep organized, and over time they just get heavily disorganized. I need to fix that because it stresses me out, and I can't find my concealer. Oh, there it is. In the wrong drawer. I wish I knew I was breaking out. Maybe it is stress. My diet hasn't changed. Usually I can pin it down to like processed foods, sugar, like if I eat ice cream or whatever. I was diagnosed with PCOS a couple years ago, but I think it's the type of PCOS that you develop when you come off birth control. Because ever since I had my IUD taken out 2 years ago, it took a while, but my period finally normalized, and I'm like 28 days to the day. Oh no, I forgot to take this pimple patch on. I forgot that was there. Oh crap, there's gonna be like a circle. Oopsies. Thought there was something in my hair. Okay. If you'd like to see what the inside of my fridge looks like, I'll show you that. I feel like sometimes people want to know what the inside of your fridge looks like, so whatever. I'll show you what my food is in here. And then I don't know the last time I touched any of that. Eggs, berries, half and half, egg whites. I don't use the egg whites. Mike uses the egg whites. I prefer just to get the egg white out of the eggs. And some people are like, why are you wasting the yolks? I don't know, I just prefer, see, Icon Meals chicken, Icon Meals saffron rice. If this will, okay, there we go. Saffron rice. Bunch of other stuff. Mike's brings home, bunch of chicken. I don't love this kind of pre-cooked chicken. I also hate chicken breast. So my sugar-free jelly, bunch of ratio yogurts. These are 25 grams of protein a pop, but I don't believe that they're Greek yogurt. So I don't think that they're like the absolute best. But I do have my Oikos because this is what's in my meal plan. So if I end up at the end of the day having a little extra protein to hit, I'll use one of those. That's another raw chicken I just put away. So, I mean, this is all we have. We're an ingredient household because that's just how you get results. Mike's pineapple, I have no idea what's in that. What is this? Oh, no wonder it stinks in here. It's broccoli. I hate broccoli, so I'm not eating that, but that's all Mike. Oh, there is rice in here. Not very much. I'll leave that for Mike, I guess. I've already committed to the saffron rice. Oh no. I also have butternut squash, which is probably old. Oh no, I need to throw that away. Best by October 3rd, is that what that says? Oopsies. I'm probably gonna bury this in the trash so Mike doesn't see it because that's so wasteful and I feel so bad, but I'm not eating that. Let's just hide that from Mike so he doesn't get pissed off at me. Okay, whatever. Oops, sorry about that, y'all. I know that's bad. Sugar snap peas. Here's all of our calorie-free beverages. We get diet ginger ale. I really like this stuff. The Lipton diet tea. This is just to like stay sane, if I'm being perfectly honest. Okay, so this meal, I need 113 grams of rice, 28 grams of carbs. I really want some of these pretzels though. These are like the salad topping. What did I do? Did I put the salad? Oh, here it is. This is a mess. Okay. I usually don't take this long putting a meal together, but it's Saturday and I'm taking my sweet old time today. And then I have to clean house, which is annoying. Look how good this looks. I don't spray this or anything. This little guy's stuck. I like eating out of mixing bowls. A little bit of lettuce, nothing. Oh wait, I'm gonna heat up my rice first. I don't wanna screw myself over. 113 grams of rice. I'll probably do 92 grams of rice because I'm gonna put some pretzels in there and then I'll just look up what the macros are of that. Which I don't always do, it's just because it's in the salad and I want them because I want something crunchy. Would you like a piece of rice, misters? Just a small piece. Good boy. Oh, Layla, come on, baby. There's a good girl, okay. What I'm gonna do is just throw in some of these pretzels and weigh it. I mean, it might be like 10, 15 grams worth, which is like nothing in terms of carbs. And then adjust my other meals accordingly. Listen, the most important thing, I don't know why I'm yelling, I have a microphone on. The most important thing is that you hit your macros by the end of the day. So you can kind of have a little bit of variance from meal to meal, but I do try to keep my meals somewhat close to what the macros of that meal are supposed to be. So this is done. All right, and then I put my bowl on. I already know how much is in there and I've already logged it. So I'm supposed to have like 170 grams weight of chicken. So I'm gonna put this on here. I don't even know how much I cooked, I just threw a bunch in. If I end up having a little extra, I'll just put it in a Tupperware. If I don't have enough, I'll just eat more protein later. Okay, we're gonna have it, 168, that's close enough. So I'm gonna put this in a Tupperware, eat that later. This is gonna be a big meal, I'm so pumped. Throw some lettuce in there. Lettuce doesn't have anything in it, so why do I keep losing my lettuce? I'm just gonna throw a little bit in there. I'm not really worried about the weight. Just, you know, dress it up a little bit. I don't even think I'm getting that much nutritional value out of it. I just want some variety. Some pickled onions, same thing. They're just onions. There's really not that much to them, so I am gonna put a little ranch on here, 10 grams. We put way too much ranch in those things. There's no way anyone needs this much ranch for that entire bag. It's absolutely absurd. All right, now I am gonna weigh out these pretzels, and I just figured out it's gonna be 15 grams worth. I don't need that much. All right, 14 grams, that's fine. Put that back in the salad bag, and then we're done. Wait, still 14. There's my meal. That looks so good. On prep. Yummy. I'm so excited to eat this. So Mike and I are on our way to the gym. It's Saturday. So for me, that means glutes and hamstrings because Saturdays are my high carb day. So a few weeks ago, I had 2 high carb days, and then my coach took away my Wednesday high carb day, which sucked. So I've been a little hungrier, but I mean, it's moved the scale in the right direction. So we're happy about that. But I still have this high carb day, thank goodness. I was so afraid he was gonna take that away, but my weight dropped, so we're good. For now. But yeah, I know. He even said it in my check-in. He was like, we don't have to get crazy aggressive yet. I mean, we might. And I'm like, oh, please no. Because the hunger is really starting to kick in. I know I literally just talked about that this morning, but again, I am grateful for it because I know this process is supposed to be hard, so I didn't want it to feel too easy because I don't think that that would mean I was doing it correctly if it didn't feel this hard. Mike is a seasoned competitor. I don't know if I mentioned this in any of my other, like the first video, but Mike is a seasoned competitor and he's doing the same show. So he decided to hop in after I said I was going to do it.
Yep.
So this will be what, number 14 for you?
Number 14.
14's crazy.
And I was like, you're going to do it. And I was like, well, I mean, my life's going to suck. Not going to go out to eat or do anything. I was like, might as well join you. So here we are.
But I really do feel like he's liked it.
I have enjoyed it. I always enjoy structure. And looking better is always good, right? So, I think the big shift, though, for like what you're talking about, is like you have to change how you view hunger, or hunger is a negative emotion. To me, hunger means I'm losing fat.
Right, no, for sure.
It's a great emotion I want to feel. And so, I think a lot of people.
Well, the hunger isn't the emotion. You're talking about the emotion that it produces can be negative,
yeah,
or
you
can
get
be
hungry,
positive.
and then it's like, does that make you go, man, I want a cheeseburger, or does it make you go, man, I'm losing fat?
I was actually just talking about that with a client yesterday. We had her onboarding call, and she had mentioned in there, I wish this wasn't so shaky. Maybe I can fix that. Hold on. That's way better. Okay. I was talking to a client yesterday on her onboarding call, and she mentioned at one point that one of her struggles, she's got like a 2-year-old, and she's like, I hate being hungry. Before I had my kid, it wasn't really that much of an issue, but I do get hangry and I don't want to be irritable on my daughter. And I was like, I totally understand that. However, if you have a different perspective around hunger and you start to enjoy feeling hungry, which, just so we're clear, you're not supposed to feel famished the entire time, like in a normal typical cut. Like I don't coach competitors. She's not a competitor. She's trying to get to a healthy weight. But you're gonna feel intermittently hungry. You're gonna feel mild hunger when your body is in an energy deficit. That's just part of the deal. And even if you're not in an energy deficit, I personally think that people have this misunderstanding about hunger because we're so used to such this overabundance of food that people view hunger as like the world is ending. Like I can't ever be hungry. And it's like, actually, you're supposed to be hungry at some point in time. Like your digestive system, realistically speaking, is designed for periods of fasting and periods of food. That's just how it's operated for thousands of years. It's only been in the last even 100 to 150 years. Not even that much, honestly, like the last 100 years that we've had an abundance of food and this access to food literally everywhere you go. And our digestive systems have not adapted to that, to needing this constant sustenance. Like it is designed to withstand periods of no food, because hunter-gatherers would be fasted for several days, then they would have food, and then you can't keep the food cold, you can't keep the meat in a fridge. They would eat what they could, they would eat a lot of food, and then they'd be fine for a couple days. So like, you're supposed to have hunger. You're supposed to feel that. That's normal. If you're not feeling normal hunger cues, that is problematic. So anyway, when it comes to within a prep, you expect to feel hungry, and it's an indication that the plan is doing its job. Like it's an aggressive cut. It's not just getting lean, it's getting so lean that you're competitive. So no one ever said it was gonna be easy. It's definitely hard. So we're going to the gym. What are you lifting?
I'm gonna do some chest and tries.
He always lifts different body parts than I lift, so we never actually get to train together, but that's probably for the better.
I have a routine as well.
Yeah, that's true. He has a coach. I have a coach. It's funny to like view the differences in our programs because his coach had him at like 6,000 steps for most of his prep. He just increased it to 10.
And then we just went to 10 while reducing my carbs by 33%. So this is day 2 of low. And I have a smile on my face.
It might be a fake smile, but it's a smile nonetheless.
Got the sleep ins. That's 2 last hours.
I know, that was so nice. We slept until like 8:30, which is great. We're usually up at like 5:30. Me, usually 5:36, but it's fine. Been spending the last few hours cleaning. And I'm realizing how hungry I am, so time to eat. And I'm not going to make this meal quite as involved as the last one, like with the lettuce and the salad toppings and stuff. But this meal, same as last meal, I believe, in terms of macros. But since I'm not adding like the salad stuff with the condiment, which was the smoky ranch, it's just gonna be chicken and rice. I might do the condiment. Let me check my macros. All right, well, I'm technically supposed to have 3 more meals. 2 meals that are both 20 grams of carbs and 20 grams of protein and negligible fat. Because my chicken is relatively lean and 20 grams of protein worth is like 4 grams of fat, I'll have a little more fat with my 3rd meal, which is gonna be my English muffin or my pancakes, Pride Foods pancakes, and a yogurt. So that will be determined. So I could either add some condiment at this meal, or I could have it later. Now, since I'm technically supposed to have 3 more meals and it's 5 o'clock, I'm just gonna have 2 more meals. I'm gonna combine these next 2 meals together, so I'm gonna have 40 grams of carbs and 40 grams of protein, and then I'll have my last meal. So, 40 grams of protein worth of this chicken would be, weight-wise, I think like 200 grams weight, if memory serves. I'm actually not going to cut it up this time. I will cut the fat off, but I'm not gonna cut it all up in pieces. It has been a busy day, but that's a good thing. I like a busy day. You know, if I could go back in time and tell myself anything, the first time I tried to compete, it would be that like, hey, you don't have to hate your food. You don't have to eat fish. You don't have to eat chicken breast, which it's not that I necessarily hate those meats. I just don't prepare them in a delicious way. Chicken thighs are just good tasting on their own, so they don't really require a whole lot of effort. And back then, I just hated my food. I felt like I had to reach for, and this, of course, granted, this comes from having meal plans given to me, and I wasn't like doing the macro thing where I'm tracking. I am not an abider by if it fits your macros, where they go full board like, oh, you can eat whatever you want as long as it fits your macros. I don't agree with that. I agree with all whole food. However, in the realm of whole food, I don't think that any whole food should be off limits unless it's like egregiously high in fat. Like, I'm not gonna be eating lamb, which first of all, I would never eat lamb anyway. I cannot eat baby animals. But I'm not gonna eat something that has more fat than protein in it. Now, again, that's why I choose these chicken thighs, because they're healthier, they're less fat than conventional chicken thighs. But I am gonna eat what I like. I'm not gonna eat foods that I hate. If you hate your food, you're doing it wrong. You might be choosing foods that you think are like the healthiest foods ever, like chicken and broccoli, which is what I used to eat. And I did not prepare it very well. I did lazy meal prep. I would just throw a bunch of chicken breasts on a pan and put it in the oven and bake it. Not like tenderizing it, not, you know, choosing good seasonings, just being lazy. And it was disgusting. And I had a very hard time eating those meals. So once I realized, well, I could eat kind of whatever whole food I want. It's whole food. Even if it's a bit of a higher fat protein, what does it matter as long as I hit my macros by the end of the day? Game changer. Totally changed my life. You don't have to eat foods that you hate, because I promise you, there are whole foods that you like. I do not get sick of this. I have been eating this for quite some time. They have other flavors for sure that Mike and I will buy, but this is hands down my favorite. Since I didn't cut it up, I am gonna do it for like 12 minutes, and I guess I'll consolidate this with the other open pack that I have in my fridge. Okay, I lied. I am gonna put some lettuce in it because I do have to use all this lettuce up. I did end up dressing it up similar to how I did earlier. I'm also just completely out of these, I guess. Didn't realize that, so that sucks. But just figured out how much of everything I needed to basically split my remaining calories between 2 meals. So wasn't that big of a deal, just did some math, and I'll screenshot my macros for the day and put that up on the screen for you guys so you can take a look. So I'm about to make my favorite thing. I'm obsessed with this. I've logged it already. I logged all my food. I need 1.4. I guess I'm gonna weigh this. So I need 1.4 scoops. For the record, I don't usually weigh it, but I'm doing it for the sake of the video. So you guys can see how you should do this. I usually just eyeball it. So I need to do some math. I have Mike's phone, great. Perfect, that works. All right, why on earth does he have the scientific, does he know that he can change this? That's crazy, there's no way he was using any of those functions. So if I need 1.4, I'm gonna weigh it in grams. If it's 1 scoop is 32.16 grams, 32.16, 1.4, 45 grams, perfect. That's easy, 45 grams. This is my favorite flavor, but there's also, let's line them up. I have tried all of them, and let's do a little rating here. This is number 1 for sure, the maple. Let's put it in the light. Maple syrup. And then 2 would be the chocolate, specifically with a ratio yogurt. Now I wish I had vanilla of this, but I don't. But these two together, it's like a cake. And then this one is good, and then this one, and then this one last. Not that it's bad, because sometimes I want that, but that's how I would rank them. What we're gonna do, 45 grams. I'm so hungry. Why am I taking so long? It's such a small amount that I just use my little frother to mix it up. That's what Mike told me to do. Wow, I was pretty almost on the money with my scoops. 45. Good thing I cleaned this. I think the instructions say to, yeah, let batter rest for 5 minutes. That's tough for me. I don't know that I've actually made it 5 minutes yet. I gotta figure out how these food creators do this. How do you make it so aesthetic? There's this guy on TikTok called The Notorious Foodie. I love watching his videos. He makes the most gourmet food, and then he supposedly eats all of it. He like ate an entire creme brulee the other day, but I don't believe that he does that. I just can't. Why are you looking at me like that, dude? What is the matter? Are you such a good boy? Do you want a bloob? Wait there. Hey, sit. Wait. 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 Layla is limping, and it's really tearing me up inside. Come here, Theo. Sit. Sit down. That's not a sit. It's like a magnet. It's like 2 opposing magnets. He won't let me put it on his nose. You just take it. Sit down. Sorry, Boo. Forgot to give you a command. Good girl. Why do you take so long to sit? It's pretty good. I'm just gonna knock out some quick steps real quick, and I wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. I hope this content's interesting to you. If you want to see more of this, just don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications. Leave whatever comments that you would like, any questions you have. I look at all the comments, I answer the questions, and I make sure that in future videos, I'm always addressing the things that you guys want to learn the most about. So I will see you guys in the next video.